So soul food. You know you want it. You gotta get your soul food. You know you need it. It put you in the soul mood. You gotta get it. Guyana got the pepper pot. You know you need it. I tell you man, it's always hot. You gotta get it. Jamaica got the recipe. Because you love it. Or something they call a key. You know you want it. Tobago got the crab curry. You know you need it. With dumpling that nice you see. You gotta get it. I tell you no real pretty. Because you love it. Would resist a hot roti.
Step into the future with visual radio. Only on WAC 90.1 FM.
What's up, soldiers? Your boy Chris here, CARIBBEANPOT.com, vibes it up in the kitchen as usual. Today we're doing cornmeal cuckoo, or this corn cuckoo as my grandma would call it. Now, as a kid growing up, there wasn't much love for this. However, older I got, the more I started appreciating it. Grandma would make something similar to this. Now I'm using the same ingredients she would use, but my technique is a little bit different. And I must mention that as you move from the south and you start heading up the Caribbean, you will notice cuckoo is made a little bit differently. It may be called something different, but for the most part, the base is cornmeal, and you always got okra in there. Very West African. And I guess this is our Caribbean version of polenta. So Chris here, CARIBBEANPOT.com. Always a pleasure to have you guys here in the kitchen with me. My version of corn cuckoo, stew meat, stew fish. Oi, nice things, man. Vibes it up. I have in my saucepan on a medium heat. Well, it wasn't low, but we need it on low anyways. And I'm gonna go in with some butter. Just gonna move that around, and right away you will have, if you know this recipe, you will know I'm doing things differently. And the reason why I'm doing it this way is because I like flavors. I like to start off with flavors. So yes, traditionally the garlic and the onion and whatever else you're putting would go in while it's boiling, but I like sort of gently frying it a little bit in that butter. I'm going to turn my heat down to low. I'm going to go in with a couple cloves of garlic, a small onion diced. And again, by doing this, what we're doing, we're allowing all those flavors to come out from the beginning. So later on, it's not as if you're using boiled onions or garlic or something. And I have here one pimento pepper or seasoning pepper. And this is what they look like. They go more red and more orange when they're ripe. Seeds and everything, there is no heat to that. And it's all about flavor. I turn my heat down to low, and I'm going to let that go for about 3 minutes. A little bit different something again. I'm going to go in with some leaves of fresh thyme. I'm just going to strip that off. And this is my sort of herbal element I'm adding to this. This you won't find in any traditional recipe for corn cuckoo. My grandma saw me doing this. She probably asked me what kind of madness I'm doing. But trust me on this, the flavor you would get from this, as well as the garlic and that pimento pepper that we started off with, doing it this way, trust me, you'll like this one. Then it's all about going in with the okra, or okra as we say. Okra. As I was saying, calypso, you know. And this is what they look like. All the ingredients I use here today will be mentioned. Oh, we got a stem snuck in there. Just gotta fish that out. And what you want to do, you want to cut off that stem and discard it. And I usually cut off the little tips here as well too, and discard that. I just want to soften this up and toss it a little bit in the butter and that sort of flavors we have going on down here. Just give it about a minute or so. My heat is still low. I'm going to go in with some salt. I'll turn my heat up to high, and I'm going to go in with coconut milk. Give that a stir. And we want to bring that up to a boil and then allow it to simmer for about 5 minutes or so until, well, it depends on how thick you cut your okra. Correcting myself. But the whole idea is to get that okra nice and tender. With that okra in here, it's going to get thick very fast, but I can tell the okra is nice and tender now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the stove because I don't want this to get out of control, and it can get out of control. I don't want it to be lumpy, and I'm going to, while stirring, I'm going to start adding my cornmeal to this. And you really want to stir fast because you don't want to have any sort of lumps, and that is why I turned off the heat, the stove at this point first. We will turn it back on in a little bit, but I just want to make sure I don't get any lumps. The whole idea here in making this is not to have any lumps. I'm going to continue stirring this here. My heat is off, but we really want to bring this together. And notice how it's starting to thicken up there. That there's pure fire. That is goodness. That is exactly what we're looking for. My stove is back on now, and what I'm going to do is add warm water and continue stirring that because I want to make this nice and smooth and allow it to cook all the way through. We need that cornmeal to cook all the way through. And if it starts thickening up on you too fast, you can certainly go in with some more water, which I'm going to go in with here. Remember, as always, making a mess. Yeah, as always, making a mess. All the ingredients will be listed down in the description of the video, and the recipe will be posted on CARIBBEANPOT.com. It's been going now for about 5 minutes since I started adding that water and put it back on the fire. It's gonna thicken up. And I want to show you guys something. I don't know if you guys can see it, but those little white lumps that you're seeing there, that's not lumps in the cuckoo. That is the seeds from the okra. So don't think Chris here know what he's doing. Chris full well know what he's doing here. It's going to cook about a minute more, but running out of breath. I need to go to the gym. It's a good little workout here, you know. Don't skylark. Chris here, CARIBBEANPOT.com, corn cuckoo. My take on corn cuckoo a little bit different than how my grandmother would make it. You can allow it to cool down now. Most people would put it in a mold or something, let it set, and then you'd flip it over on the plate that you're serving it on. Looking nice and pretty and thing. But anyways, always a pleasure to have you guys here in the kitchen with me. Remember to hit subscribe, leave comments below, and check me on the Instagram, man. Nice things happening there too.
Step into the future with visual radio, only on WAC 90.1 FM.
Something they call a key. Tobago got the crab curry. With dumpling that nice, you see. I tell you no real pretty. Would resist a hot roti.